The Hyundai Grand i10 was an addition to the range a little while ago, where it came in as not a replacement for the i10, but a bigger brother to the i10. And you can see it is quite a lot larger than the standard little baby Hyundai, being the i10 version. Grand comes standard with a 1.25 litre 4-cylinder engine, non-turbo, so very much in the standard kind of spec. This is the top of the range fluid version, so you get mag wheels as standard, for example. You get rear park distance control as well over here, which is also a nice feature to have, and even on any car I think is useful to have these days. Very small boot over here, 184 litres with the rear seats up, and you can expand it if you drop the rear seats to approximately 900 litre space. But something I did notice on this car that I found quite unusual is the fact that the rear seat, the backrests are not split. So if you do fold down, you have the option. You either have a rear seat or you don't. On many of the opposition, you find you get the option of splitting often 2/3, 1/3, which means you can have passengers and load space. That compromise or option is not actually available on this version. But overall, a very neat shape, very functional, and just very useful, I would say. Let's take a look inside. Behind the wheel of the Hyundai Grand i10, let's start off by showing you we've done 376 kilometers on this test. And if you scroll through, you'll see on a 40-litre tank, we still have 368 Ks left, and I think an amazing fuel economy figure. And this has been overall driving, general commuting, freeway, everything, 5.7 litres per 100, which I think is pretty exceptional. But beyond that, a very standard, neat instrumentation. You've got controls on your steering wheel, the multifunction wheel, which is nice. Something on this car that is something, at least you have, is a lock and unlock button over here. So there is central locking. It's not on pull-off. You have to click it like that to lock all the doors. Just keep it in mind and remember it. You come across over here to your center, of course, your center fascia. And Hyundai, come on, wake up. This is a little bit out of date now, I think. Still a generation behind. Your competitors have all got touchscreen systems, etc. But having said that, I've got to also compliment how neat the whole look of the center fascia is on this car, and I think it's very neatly done. Your air conditioning controls below over here, down to a very neat, very light, very functional 5-speed manual gearbox. Nice and easy to use, nice and comfortable, and it runs very nicely, very neatly. And cup holder down here, lots of little storage places, everything you would want and expect from your small to medium family hatchback. And talking family hatchback, I think it's important to take a look in the back seat as well. So let me get in the back and we can check out what life is like for the family who are traveling in the back of the car. Moving to life in the back seat of a Grand i10, and this is where obviously it's bigger than the standard i10. Headroom in abundance, absolutely fine. Legroom, certainly more than adequate. That driver's seat is set for myself, so I have no complaint, no issue. I think it's more than. You've got room for 2 comfortably in the rear. A 3rd would be a bit of a squeeze, but again, it's not unpleasant at all. So you've got all of those features, all of those functions. Very neat cloth upholstery in the car. Well finished, I have to tell you that much. The 1.25 engine puts out 64 kilowatts, 120 newton meters of torque. So it's in the ballpark. Again, I don't want to use the word average, but it certainly meets the industry averages and figures that you would want for a car of the sort. You're looking at a price of 202,900 Rand for this top of the range derivative. You can get a more basic version, being the Motion, for 186,900. Same engine, same gearbox, just obviously very big differences in specifications. This car does come with 2 airbags and ABS brakes as well, so your safety is certainly catered for. This is an extremely crowded market segment. There are so many competitors. If I start naming, I'm going to leave out, I know that, but you would be looking at cars like the Renault Sandero Stepway, the Toyota Cross Etios, the VW Cross Up, the new Suzuki Ignis, and many more. I'm going to leave some out, but those are the kind of competitors you are looking at. They're all in the same ballpark, some a little bit cheaper, the VW Up a little bit more expensive, but they're all crossing around the 180 to 200,000 Rand price barrier, so it's competitive there. Hyundai, of course, have that market-leading 7-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty, which is something ahead and more than their opposition and competitors do often. But I have to say, a little bit surprisingly, the Grand i10 does not offer a service plan as standard included in the price. What it does offer, and again a lot of its competitors don't offer, is a 4-star Euro NCAP rating. So, you pay your money, you take your choices. It swings and roundabouts. You gain on the one side, you may lose on the other side. But if you're looking for a car, a small, compact car with a little bit of space and one step up from the smallest cars around, the Hyundai Grand i10 certainly is a contender for you to look at. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R, and I'll see you next time.